Hello and welcome to another edition of Sunshine Spotlight. I'm James Campion, and today we have Leah Hennessey from the band Hennessey. How prompt. Hello.
Hello, James. How are you?
I'm very well. We should say right off the bat that Leah and I just met. We talked a couple of weeks ago. I got the word on Hennessey from our good friend Ahold, who's taping some of your performances down at the Bowery Electric. We'll see a little bit of that later on, but this is a pretty new band. Your bio reads you're a performer, writer, songwriter, but Hennessy's a new project. Tell me how you got into that.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I decided that my life was not worth living if I wasn't really putting the time in writing songs. So up to that point, I'd been writing a lot of satirical kind of comedy pastiche songs for a web series I made called Zhe Zhe, Zhe, which is like I will say it's a cult show, but it can only ever be that. And we had a fake band in that show, and so I was really only writing fake songs, and I realized that some part of me would die if I didn't start writing my own real songs. And as I've gone further into that, of course, the distinction between what's a real song and what's a fake song, it's an illusory boundary, but it did prompt me to start working on my own songs for real. And then I enlisted my artistic partner EJ O'Hara, who's like a Enoian non-musician synthesizer drum machine programming
Brian,
genius.
of course, yes.
Yes, he's very much. First time I met EJ in high school, he was wearing a giant Brian Eno pin, and I was like, "That's the guy."
That's the guy, yeah, yeah. And you're both huge Bowie fans, which shows up in the music as
So
well.
psycho Bowie fans, to a fault, I think. But people, it's not the first thing people say when they hear the music. So people always say, "You guys must really love Suicide." I'm like, "Yeah, we do. Sure, we love Suicide." But I always think they're gonna say, "You guys must be pathologically obsessed with the Bowie Berlin triptych," but they don't.
Right.
So done a good job kind of, obscuring our monomania, I guess. But so I enlisted EJ to help me flesh out these songs and arrange them, and we started off just as a duo with me playing like, I guess, very no wave guitars, de-skilled guitars, I would say. And then we realized we needed another kind of guitar. And so we got this amazing kid, Malachi, who played on the EP that we just released. And now Malachi has proved that he's even more of an Anglophile than we are, because he's actually moved to London, which shows another degree of dedication.
Right.
So he plays with us when he's in town, but we found this other genius. We're just drowning in geniuses, Noah, who plays with us live, and we're going to be doing some recordings with him. So
Go ahead, please.
no, that's it. So it's the two of us and a rotation of two guitar players, and sometimes we all play together, which is really great.
I liken the band again to late '70s Bowie, but also I hear a lot of Sugar Cubes in there, the
Oh
band
yeah.
X, and EP number one or episode '01, which is
Yeah.
the name of your EP,
Right.
has many different styles in it. I think I likened it to electronica punk or something, and we'll see you do a great song called "Use" right here. So I have to ask you before we play the clip. You and I have talked before. You have acting chops, you have performance chops, you have theater chops. How much does that affect what we see here in this video when you're on stage? Are you pulling from all of that? Is that inspiring you?
Well, it's really interesting actually, because when I first started playing live with this band, I realized that the part of your brain that's activated doing theater and the part of your brain doing like a rock and roll show is actually kind of diametrically opposed. Because in theater, ideally, you're making the same decision over and over again in a spontaneous way. But with like a rock show, you're really just being spontaneous, and you might really make a totally different decision. But what's been amazing about doing these live stream shows is that it does actually incorporate more of acting. you don't have the audience to kind of like trade energy with. So it's less of a ritual, I guess, and more of a performance in the acting sense. And without getting like too pretentious about it, it's just I think that the live stream offers actor performers a chance to flex in a way that you don't really get to with a live audience.
Sure, and of course, you know, not to keep bringing Bowie up, but why not? He had a lot of that. He had a lot of that as well. And I love this clip too. We're going to play your song off of EP #1 or episode 01, called "Use." And you really see a lot of you could see you playing to the camera as the camera. It's a meta going on in there. I really love it.
Yes, I love the camera.
All right, let's check it out. This is Hennessey and Leah Hennessey with, or Leah Hennessey, sorry. I did it.
Everyone does it. Everyone does. It's because you love Princess Leia. I do too.
I have to admit I do. All right, here's "Use" with Hennessey.
You've got your booze, you've got your God, you've got your food, you've got the money, you've got the excuse, you've got so much to live for and nothing to prove. You could have it if you wanted to, but all I wanna get is inside you. You've got the sun and you've got the moon, you've got your God and you got mine too. You got away with words and you know all the tunes. You know what you like to get loose. You could have it all if you wanted to, but you're the only thing that I wanna use. I could take pills, I could get loose, I could dance all night with all the young dudes. I could cause a scene that would make the news. I could do it all again with somebody new. I could drown the pain of wanting you, but you're the only thing that I wanna use. You've got the sun, you've got the moon, you've got your God, you got mine too. You got away with words, and you know all the tunes. You know what you like to get loose. You could have it all if you wanted to, but you're the only thing that I wanna use. You're the only thing that I wanna use. You're the only thing that I wanna use. It's true.
And from the Bowery Electric, taped, I believe, by our friend Ahold, right?
Yes.
That is "Use." That is a fantastic clip. You are riveting and dynamic in that. You're really playing to the camera. You and I emailed this morning. You're like, which clip should I play? And I really do feel like that captures the energy of the band. How difficult is that to play with backtracks and you guys setting it all up? Because obviously there's no
Oh,
drum
we don't have
parts.
backtracks. It's all live. That's totally live.
So he's playing all those different things on off
Totally
the
live. He's playing it all live. He's patching in the cables and the beeps and the boops, mad scientist style. So there's a lot of room for error. And actually, some of the people at Bowery Electric, we were talking about how, you know, bands like, you know, Depeche Mode or something, they really do rely on having a lot of that stuff pre-recorded just in case. But we're kind of like a flying by the seat of our pants. Like, I feel like we're like a Terry Gilliam junk barge, like falling off the wheel. I mean, anything could happen. You're like, anything could happen at the shows because it's everything's totally live.
There you go, junk barge music. I like that. So is it difficult to, can you guys riff and go off? Is it difficult to stay right on everything? Because I noticed as you were playing, you seem very rehearsed, or are you just doing this extemporaneously?
It's not rehearsed. I mean, I think the beauty of doing something like a song like Use, which is, it's a little bit more, that song is a little more pastiche than some of the other things. It's like it's very like, I think I kind of wanted it to be almost like a Flying Lizard song, or like a joke rock and roll song. But
Sure.
the beauty of doing something in that form, like a blues, or like a old school rock and roll song, is that everyone knows exactly how it goes and what the part is and what you do next. And even in the singing and then the performance, it's like it's all been done. So we haven't, it's not that it's so rehearsed or practiced, it's just that it's like the blueprint is so strong that it frees you up to kind of go crazy and make it as wrong and fucked up as you can. So no, it's not we didn't rehearse like the camera moves or how it was gonna all happen. We didn't like play through it before we filmed. But I do think I think that the live stream as a medium is totally fresh. And what I always think about is like when you go see a big band, like a big show at, Madison Square Garden or Barclays Center or something, you're going to be watching the screens most of the time anyway.
Right.
Unless it's Bruce Springsteen, and then you're in the hands of a tyrant who's making you breathe in and out with him, and the lights could go off and everyone would just be in this like synchronized terrifying ecstasy. But most people are not Bruce Springsteen, and when you go see a big show, there's cameras going the whole time anyway. So I think that unless you're seeing a great band in a tiny club and you're up front, there's like a lot of mediation. And I think this live stream thing could get very interesting if people invest the time and the money and the creativity and the thought, because it's a new form of music entertainment. I mean, it's not brand new. There's been live streams, but given the cultural context, I think it's new.
Yeah, it reminds me of the early 80s and MTV. All of a sudden, these bands had to be visual. And this, in a way, is a new way of changing and evolving. And I would say also we should mention you have a wonderful video that turned me on to you guys called No Transformation, which I believe was directed by somebody who worked with Bowie. Is that correct?
Yes, it's directed by, I won't say genius again, but one of my favorite contemporary artists. His name's Tony Oursler, and he was a long-term Bowie collaborator. He did the sets for the Earthling tour, which is one of my favorites. Now I've reached my Bowie obsession has gone so far. It's like now I only want to talk about like late 90s Bowie, which you have to really find your people to do that with. Except I think it's coming back. I think the kids are going to be all over Earthling next year. You heard it here first. But
Got it.
Tony did that stuff, and then he did famously the Where Are We Now video.
Oh, yeah.
Bowie's big comeback video,
Yeah.
which incorporates his art. So, yeah, he doesn't do music videos. He did that for Bowie, and he did a Sonic Youth video, and now he did the Hennessey video.
It's very cool. It's very cool, and you do a great job in it. Last thing, what is new? Like, how are you guys going to traverse this weird quasi-live virtual thing to promote the record? Like, what is, or do you have new songs? You want to do a full album? What's next for you guys?
I mean, this is you're like serving the function of like my therapist right here. I mean, I'm working it out right now.
The bill will be in the mail.
We're working it out. I mean, we have some live stream shows lined up. I want to kind of take it further and further and further with everyone. I don't want to keep doing the same thing. So, working out how to make it more interactive and how to make it more of a spectacle, how to make it something that's worth paying for, really, and that transports people out of their cave is, the goal.
Sure.
So that's like a complex artistic question that we're working on. But we have shows lined up, and then also, we've been doing some like guerrilla shows. Like we did a show last week at Montez Press Radio on Division Street in Chinatown. My friend has a radio show called The Church of World Peace, and so she was preaching on a fire escape, and then we came out on the fire escape and played to the street, and
Nice.
that was great. And the cops like circled around and then left us alone, which was great.
It's cool.
And we're thinking about doing more, spontaneous, impromptu, illegal shows, which I think is what we all want right now. And
Yes.
then we have a single in the works, which we're calling, it's going to be a double A side. Not
Like Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. I like it.
they're both A sides, and that's gonna come out. And then I've been writing constantly. I hate to be one of those people who's like bragging about how much I got done during quarantine, because it could have gone easily the other way, But I spent the first month like in total stagnation, and then I rallied and I got my closest songwriting friends together, and we started an online weekly songwriting workshop. And it's not a workshop, we just have to play each other our songs once a week, new songs. So I have like a new song for every week since March. And then now I got into this real crazy shit with I'm like reading this culty songwriting book, and they have all these games and challenges. So 2 days ago, I did a write 20 songs in a day challenge, which was like the most psychedelic, crazy thing.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah,
it was insane. It was 10 hours. It was 12 hours, 20 songs, 12 hours. And, I don't know if any of those are going to make it on the record, but I'm trying to get into that mode of, just writing constantly.
Sure. Well, you're taking advantage of the time, which is what I did too. So, Leah, thank you so much for joining us on Sunshine Spotlight. You're the first female guest.
Wow.
Also, the first guest that wasn't an alumnus of the festival. We'd love to have you. So, thanks to Ahold for getting us together. Much success. Love the music, love the band. And, I'm sure you and I will stay in touch, because we're both voracious readers and lunatic Bowie fans.
Yes, thank you. What a pleasure. Oh, this is, you should check out Macy Rodman.
Okay.
That's the best. That's the next female artist you should have on there.
All right, very well. Thank you very much. He's also producing the program. That is Leah Hennessey, and that's Hennessey. My name is James Campion. See you next time on Sunshine Spotlight.
No transformation, no transformation, no transformation, no transformation, no transformation. There's no time for transformation this time.